I look back on the time that I was in Chicago, like out on my own for the first time, just like learning about myself, learning about life, and like, I am begging. I don't like to beg, but I am begging, like all of us, especially like young men. You a young man out on your own for the first time. There's some things I'm begging you. You got to. You have to invest in soaps. I know good men. These are good men. These are good people. These are good young men. They're not gonna cheat, they're not that type of person, but they have some misconceptions about life, like one soap can do it all. It can, I am begging you. It can. First of all, a bar can't do everything. I had a friend, we were all out on our own for the first time. We all, sharing our experiences, getting our own first apartments and stuff like that. And he had one bar of soap. One bar of soap to do everything. Yeah. There's little things like that. One bar of soap. He had one bar of Dial soap in his kitchen. Looks like everyone here was raised right. He had one bar of Dial soap in his kitchen. I saw the bar of Dial soap in the kitchen. I was like, interesting, okay. And later on, we were hanging out for a while. I was at his place for hours, and eventually I had to go to the bathroom. I went to the bathroom, and then I went to wash my hands. But there was nothing. There was nothing. There wasn't a bar in the bathroom, and I checked the shower. I was checking, I didn't even see body wash. There was nothing at all. I just had wet hands. I was just wet. Not clean, slippery. Because that's also a whole different conversation. Just because you have wet your hands does not mean you have clean hands. You cannot just wet your hands. This is how disease spreads. You cannot just be wet and nasty. You're still nasty. You're just nasty, but slipperier now. In fact, you have become a super spreader. You now easier to be nasty because you can flick the nasty. You say you wash your hands, you wet your hands. So then, I'm over here, okay, there's nothing in here. There's not a single thing. And he lives alone. There's not a single thing in here. So I was like, okay, look, maybe I caught him on a bad day. He needed to go shopping, something like that. So then I did something I very rarely do, but I went ahead and under the sink, opened the cabinet to see if there was just a bar there. Nothing. He didn't even have cleaning products or medicine, or there was just pipe under there. Nothing. There was nothing. And so then finally I got ask him for some soap. So I get ready to leave the bathroom, but it's hard. There's a doorknob. My hands are very wet, and so it took a while. Took it embarrassing. I was over here like. I finally make it out of the bathroom. And I go up to him like, hey, there's no soap in your bathroom. And he's like, oh, my bad, soap's out here. And I said, what? And he's like, yeah, the soap's out here. And he pointed to the soap that was on the kitchen sink, the Dial soap that he apparently also uses on the plates. know what's nastier now. Washing my hands with soap here, because this is the only only bar soap I've ever seen that's got food on it. It's insane. Because look, I'm not knocking anybody. I know what it's like to be out on your own for the first time, and you, depending on where you grew up or how you were raised or what you had access to, is going to depend on how you see a good portion of how to move about the world. So I'm not judging anybody. I'm just saying what things I think would be helpful. You know, I've been broke and on my own, but you still, you know the things that you're working towards. You know what's in front of you. I'm not saying it makes it easy or affordable. I'm just saying what's in front. Every man in here, every single man in here, I don't care your age, please, I am begging you to have at least in your domain. I don't care if you got roommates. I don't care if you share a couch. In your domain, please have at least one full body mirror. We are leaving the house looking crazy, and we have no idea. We have no idea. And nobody gonna tell you. I've left the house looking insane because I didn't have a full body mirror. I was over here. I was over here. fully missing a pocket. Missing one of my back pockets. And not missing as in it was like completely gone. I say missing because it had ripped. And it was hanging behind me like a jean tail. And I had no idea because I didn't have a full body mirror to give myself a twirl before I left. You know, because life is, you know, POV. Life's a first person shooter. You don't know. You don't know unless you look around, unless you look in that mirror what you really look like. Sometimes we think it looks dope. Sometimes we think it looks fly. And a full body mirror would warn you. You know? I'm not knocking all fedoras. I'm simply saying that some people don't have fedora head shape, and it's not until they see themselves in a fedora that they go, oh, this is for somebody else. Because don't get me wrong, the people who fedoras are for make fedoras look very cool. The people who fedoras are not for make the people who fedoras are for take their fedoras off. You need a mirror. You have to have a mirror. Please don't guess. On the subject of soap, like this is the other thing. Every soap has a purpose. It's been figured out already. It's been market tested. Our grandparents divided the soaps. Our ancestors had soaps for certain processes. I know times are tough. I've been broke, but there are some things. My buddy, I was at his place and I just went to the bathroom once again. We over there for hours playing video games and everything. I go to his bathroom and all I see, I wasn't even being nosy. I wasn't looking into his things because I could see it. I could see it right in front of me because he didn't have a shower curtain. So I could see everything that was going on. I didn't peek behind the curtain to be like, ooh, what does he use? No, it was right in front of me because he just lets the whole bathroom get wet. Please buy a shower curtain. Please buy a shower curtain. This is why you got men running around with PS5s, because they think they have this extra income that should be going to... don't get me wrong, the PS5 is important. It is important, but it is not more important than a mirror and a shower curtain, which are much cheaper than a PS5. You could have bought the PS5 and one less game, and you would have a shower curtain and a mirror. No shower curtain. So if you turn a shower on, you're just about to fight for your life on that tile. But then I see in the shower, not no body wash, I see Dawn dish detergent. I'm not a confrontational person, but if you're my friend, I gotta say something. I came out the bathroom with the dish detergent. I was like, no, it can't stay in here. It can't. I walked up to him. I was like, you're not a bowl. Are you a man or are you a cup? What's wrong with you right now? You've been using this on your whole body. This fool over here, it worked for the ducks. I know not. I know. You did not just tell me that you watched a Dawn commercial of them washing a duckling that was a victim of a disaster and thought to yourself, that'll work for me too. I get greasy too. Washing his body. Do you every crease of every crack in your skin is ashy right now. You have stripped every oil, probably some years from your skin. I think you might live a long life, but your skin won't. You gonna run out of skin one day. Be sitting there 89 years old, everybody like, why can I see through you, Dawn? Dish soap is tough because they don't see anything wrong. They don't see what's with one bar for the whole house with dish soap in the shower. One friend, he's a friend. He's a good person. He's a good man. He's one of those good people that does the good things that we think we do if we had the time. He makes the time. This man volunteers. This man looks out for people. He's a good man, truly. But when I found out he was taking baths with laundry detergent, there are some decisions people make that make you wonder what other decisions they make. Like when I found out he was using laundry detergent because he liked how it bubbled up, I let it come out. I didn't mean for it to, but it just escaped. I was like, I don't want you voting. I don't want you voting at all. That's crazy. That's one of the craziest things I ever heard what you just said to me. It doesn't feel crazy while you're doing it? Because look, I'm also not better than anybody. I'm not over here pretending I just know so much. Once again, I think it's like Some of it's upbringing, I was raised by my mom, my aunt, my grandma, my granddad and everything. My dad as well, but there were just certain things. It's hard to admit. As a man, it is hard to admit, but it's important. It's important that you take everything that you hold on to about what you think life is, and every once in a while, you just question it. I'm not even saying you gotta throw out all your beliefs. I'm not saying you're wrong or dumb or anything. I'm saying that every once in a while, you take a second, really think about the things you believe, and really ask yourself why you believe those things. Are these just the things that your parents believed? Is this just what you watched other people do? Do you do it to fit in? Is this really how you feel when you're all by yourself? Really question every belief that you have, because when you question those beliefs and you actually have answers for them, it reinstills your faith in the things that you believe. One of the reasons some people are so scared to have a conversation about anything is because they don't really know why they think what they think. And if they get asked a single question that questions anything about what they think, it freaks them out. It rewires their entire worldview. And so I'm just saying, maybe something happened when you were young and it was acceptable, but then you get older and people tell you that it's not, and you hold on to it. And you hold on to it because it's familiar, or you hold on to it because you're like, oh, if I'm wrong about this, what else am I wrong about? You don't have to spiral like that. One idea doesn't mean all ideas. Everything can be handled in its own compartment. Maybe there are parts of your upbringing that are incredible, have instilled in you what it takes to make a remarkable person, a kind person. And then maybe there are things about how you grew up that you maybe want to leave in the past, that you don't want to pass on to the next generation, When I tell you all this, it's to say that, like, as men, I'm begging, as men, you have to buy more than one towel. It has. I know you live alone. I know, but the towel is never as clean as you think it is, and it can't be a towel for everything, because then some parts are not good for other parts. Because I'm telling you, sometimes decisions you make in one area, you can tell you're making those same decisions in the other area, Because the same friend who thought he could clean his entire apartment and himself with one bar of soap also thought one towel will do too. And I was like, you are ground zero for the next COVID. I promise you. I don't even know, you reinfecting yourself daily. I don't know how you ever get over a cold. It can't dry you and the dishes. It can't dry you and the dishes. It cannot wash you and the dishes. You just have to, I'm just saying one more time. If we can get you to 2 towels, we have doubled the amount of towels in this home. And that's progress. Please, there are good men out there. When I tell you there are good men, living good lives, by the way. But then when you see their apartment, I get why she thinks you're gonna kill her, because there's one towel. It's one towel. What if she stays? What if she stays? And now there is one towel. And your precious towel, your one towel, the towel that's supposed to keep this entire place dry and clean, is on the floor. What have you done? What have you done? Some of these things can be fixed. Do you know what I mean? Like, some of these things can be fixed. Sometimes, it sucks. I know it sucks. I know it hurts. I know it's bad. I get it. It is bad. To feel a sort of rejection, whether you're used to it or not, every new rejection is its own thing. And sometimes you put a lot of hope, or you put a lot of energy or intention into what might happen. And so to be disappointed, it's rough. And to face a rejection can make you question yourself, you know? But I guarantee you that every rejection is just leading you to where you're supposed to be. And sometimes it's just not the right time for certain things. A rejection is not the end of the world. And it also sometimes all it's really doing is opening you up to the fact that the path that you had laid out for yourself isn't really for you. You know? It's a scary thing to get what you want and realize you don't really want it. And so sometimes a rejection is a gift. It doesn't mean that it hurts any less. Because sometimes you like someone, you like them a lot, and you like them from a genuine place. All the stuff, forget all this like internet gender war, men versus women, but you like this person and you feel like they like you, and you go out and you have a good time. You have such a good time that they come back to your place. Y'all hang out some more, and then they ghost you. That rejection, that hurts. It really does. And I have empathy for anybody who has gone through that. I understand what it's like to go through it. And maybe you text, or maybe you called, and maybe she didn't respond. Maybe she didn't pick up. And maybe it's because she looked. She looked for a single source of soap that was not the dial bar in the kitchen. Because if you are not washing yourself properly, I'm begging you, just leave it. And look, I'm not saying it's a thing you should have in the back of your head. Oh, she's going to check my cabinets to make sure I take care of myself. I'm just saying that, like, if you don't use soap, it's not a lot of detective work that goes into. And if you use soap weird, if you doing some soap stuff that's not meant to be done, you also gonna get caught, all right? Because if you washing yourself with dish soap like it's body wash, and you scream every time you put a shirt on, that's also gonna be noticeable. You know? Because there are certain things that I see that I could honestly say, at least to me, when I see them, I'm like, yeah, I think only a man would do this, I think. You know what I mean? Like obviously that used to have a sentiment of like something like deeply like misogynistic or bigoted or something, like only a man does this thing. But I feel like when people say it now, some people say it the old way, don't get me wrong, but it has a slightly different like connotation now. Just there's some things I see and I'm like, yeah, at least not that I've met. I personally have not met a woman who would be like, one bar is good. Yeah, you see stuff like that sometimes. I'll even say that kind of popped in my head during that whole Netflix Skyscraper Live. Okay, if you don't know what this is, there's a dude named Alex Honnold who's like a climber. He's a specialty climber. He does free solo, does all that stuff like that, all this free climbing, and he climbed Taipei 101. Tall skyscraper, right? And the entire time he was going to do it, it was leading up to this live event that was going to be on Netflix. And I think everybody tuned in to see if he would die. I think Like, that sounds grim to say, but Netflix trying real hard to be the first stream death. Like, they want it bad. You can tell they want it bad. They're like, yeah, let dude go ahead, climb up the skyscraper with no rope, and let's just see what happens. It's like, that's from the people that brought you Squid Game. Yeah, y'all want to see something horrific. That's true. That's just a fact. And then he takes off. This is what the only thing I didn't like about it is that he is doing this incredible thing, but they clearly didn't program the thing that well because they were sure he was going to die. I'm just being honest with you. They didn't program this thing that well because they just let this expert climber start climbing, and then he climbed like an expert, so then he made it look easy, so then people weren't as impressed as they should have been. Truly, I don't think people realize what he did. They should have had me climb first. They should have had me, and I don't even have to get to the top. I just got to clear like a floor. Just, okay, all right, okay. No, I didn't like the way my foot went. Okay, all right. And then just let a regular person who doesn't climb try to ascend. Because then you'll see how difficult the thing is, because this dude is over here making it look easy. He's making it look like cake. You know, just over here. And he's so nimble, and he's got so much strength. He has so much strength. They had that dude do a muscle up in a cutaway. So what they did do, they had a little bit of footage that they pre-taped that they played during some of the live climbs. So they would cut to that once in a while. I personally think they should have had more, but who knows? I guess they thought he'd fall the first 10 minutes or something like that. But anyway, they did this cutaway, and they looked at his training. And for his training, he did a muscle up. If you don't know what a muscle up is, you clearly never been to a park with people who have been to jail, because oh, they know how to do a muscle up. Muscle up is something you either get real good at because you practice calisthenics and have a really clean diet and are dedicated to your health and nutrition, or you've just been to prison, because a muscle up is where you do a pull-up so hard that you pull yourself over the bar and then you're above the bar. It's very hard to not look like a superhero when you do it. And he did a muscle up like it was nothing. He didn't even break a sweat. He was still talking the entire time. He was like, yeah, so I start the day with some of these. And I was like, oh! What type of felony movements are you doing? And so, yeah, have me up there, you know, trying to figure out, because everything looked flat. How do you climb flat? Even Spider-Man looked like he's struggling sometimes. How do you climb flat? Now, this dude's climbing a corner all the way up, 100. I think if it were me, I'd be like, okay, all right, let me get. Y'all want to pray one more time before we... Because the way this dude did it, he literally just put his foot up and then jumped up and then was gone. It was wildly impressive. But you wouldn't know it because they didn't have a regular person give them. All right, yeah, y'all give me a second. Yeah. Oh. Okay. They got 100 of these. Okay. if I can just get my foot. Yeah, he got it. No, he got it. I'm good. Because then the way he did it was so fast. And everybody was over here like, he could fall. He could do that. They said it way too many times for my liking. They were like, now he's really high up. And they kept doing this thing instead of showing us, once again, through someone else, how insane this thing is. They just kept saying how insane it was. They were like, this is crazy. I can't stress this enough. My heart is racing. This is crazy. It's so crazy. After 5 times, you don't believe someone. Even though what they're saying is true, it is crazy. But once again, just have someone like me. Let me start at the 50th story. Because they would get him, he had these 8 points that he got to where he could kind of take a break because he had to get through something really hard, and then once he stood up, it was flat until he climbed up to the next height. Once again, you need someone who doesn't climb to step in again at that stage. Let them start 30 stories up. No, just let them start a general 30 stories up. Because it was windy. No, I think I'm good. I think I'm gonna let him do it, actually. Yeah, because this dude, he also didn't play up how hard it was for him, so then he was acting like it was so easy that it just seemed super easy. So after a while you're watching, you're like, all right, y'all gonna make him do it upside down or something? It was way too easy. He would come over the system because they had a feed. They had him mic'd and they had a feed. And he'd be in the middle of a climb. He'd actually be going backwards. He'd have his hand out, letting his legs hang because he needed to swing the leg up for the next move. And the whole time, instead of being like, whoa! This man was over here making me bad. This man was over here, hey, can y'all put my music back on? Can you put my music? It just doesn't really feel like somebody defied death that hard where they're like, hey, can you put the music back on? I'm a little bored. You know? And they had some really cool shots in it too. They had his wife down there on the ground with him. Then she was up at the midpoint and he waved to her in the window and everything. And she was like, hey. Because she had never been there before with him. while he was doing one of these things, because why would you? No, truly, why would you? Why would you? Let him do it. That's his thing. Let him do it. Let him come back home. Why traumatize yourself watching him? You know? Because then he was over here, you know, in one of the documentary portions talking about how, you know, he has kids now and everything, and people always ask him if it's different doing this stuff before he had kids and doing it after. And he was like, well, before I had kids, I never wanted to fall. And now that I have kids, I really don't want to fall. And then that thing, I mean, to the best of my knowledge, I think it hit like number 3, number 6 on Netflix. What do you have to do to be number 1? Like, that's crazy. This man climbed a skyscraper live. Didn't hit number 1. That's why I don't know if I like that top 10 system. Because sometimes, like, murder documentaries will be all there. And if I get murdered and somebody make a documentary about it and I hit like 8, y'all better try again. No. Speaking of things that won't hit number 1, Melania had a documentary come out. Man, Melania had a documentary come out. Melania had this documentary come out, and let's just say, if it were an album, it would have hit aluminum by now. Man, this thing is crazy. Apparently, this is like one of the most expensive licensing agreements of all time or something like that. Or maybe they bought it. I don't know what they did. Whatever it was like millions and millions of dollars. It's like $40 million for the documentary and then like $35 million to market it. You don't have to boo, you're already not there. The movie Melania is out. It's a documentary about Melania. And you would think, oh, a documentary about Melania. That's got to be fascinating, right? She must know so much. She's been standing in the room for all of it. You know? Come on, a movie about Melania. Yeah, I'm curious about Melania's life. How did she, how? All of it. How all of it? How? I remember, even before he was president, I remember seeing sometimes, you know, like Trump with a beautiful woman, and I'd be like, how? I mean, the answer's money, but there's a part of you that's like, all right, plenty of people have money. Like, but Melania specifically, I was like, how? How? It's crazy. And yeah, it went worldwide. Because I guess you can release anything to everybody. No, it went worldwide. The whole thing is really crazy because the documentary I thought was going to be about her life, which I was like, all right, some people might want to see that to know how. Because we don't really hear from Melania a lot. And when we do, it's not great. Do you have it? Like when we hear from her, we're like, oh, I'm starting to understand how. You know, because we do this thing that there's so many problems in the world. It's not like I'm harping on this one as the biggest, but we do a thing where we don't really like give women enough agency in their choices, and sometimes we infantilize them, and whenever they're dating or married to a jerk, we always assume they must have been tricked or duped or whatever. And it's like, and this is going to be a hard thing to hear. I understand, but maybe if someone that you know is dating someone that sucks, it might be because they suck too. Like, we did a whole thing. We did a whole thing in the first term where it was like, oh my gosh, save Melania. Oh my God, like the poor baby. She has to be first lady, and he's like right there. And meanwhile, look, Melania can not only take care of herself, but she's there because she wants to be. She may not want to do everything. Don't get me wrong. She may not want to do all the responsibilities, but that position in life, being his wife, she's there because she meant to be. She didn't wake up and go, oops. You know what I mean? She's right next to him, and she knows. You can tell she knows. Because whenever he put out his hand, she like... Millions of dollars. Millions and millions and millions of dollars. It's crazy. Directed by Brett Ratner. Directed by Brett Ratner. No, Brett Ratner. You remember him. Yeah, Brett Ratner making a comeback with this documentary. Brett Ratner directed Rush Hour. Yeah. He directed Rush Hour, and he is a monster. Like, it's crazy. It's great. I would have loved more questions from Melania about linking up with Brett Ratner to direct the documentary. I'm sure I would have asked her, and she would have been like, "Oh." They say Brett Ratner is Predator, but he didn't even direct that movie. So few people are watching it that when I even just tried to look up the reviews, you can't even trust the reviews because the reviews are like half people who didn't watch it making fun of people not watching it, and then the other half are people who seemingly have been paid through a Craigslist ad to leave a review that is positive about the movie, but they haven't watched it. So they are alluding to things in the movie that I'm sure don't happen because I don't even think they know who Melania is. See what I mean? Like, there was a review I saw, 5 stars, and it was like, I love the fantasy of how it plays out. I especially love Angelina Jolie. I was like, that is Maleficent. That is crazy that you didn't have the reading comprehensions. And then I saw a bad review, and I know they didn't go. I know they didn't go even give the movie a try because the review was 1 star, and it said, "Wish I'd give it no stars. I died in the theater." We know that didn't happen. How you typing? We know that's not true. Admittedly, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen, this movie is a bombing though. This movie. No, this movie bombing bad. This is crazy. I've never seen anything like it. There was one night, it looked like they sold like 2 tickets in London. And not to the same showing. It was 1 ticket for 2 different showings. And this is what you gotta understand about if you're not selling at least a couple in the back of a whole theater for a whole screening, and everybody knows the movie's bad, and you're still not even selling. There were plenty of places all over Europe and in the US that were having no sales for the movie at all, for any showing, right? And that means that even the people who go to the movie theater to do heroin picked another movie. That is crazy. You knew you were about to get privacy. It was about to be dark. Nobody was gonna be talking, and you were still like, no. That's gonna mess up my high. I don't know. No. You know the movie bad too. You know the movie bad because apparently 2/3 of the crew didn't want credit for working on the movie. I don't know if you are familiar with Hollywood, but there's not a wide range of jobs right now. There are some people that are like, I'd rather them think I have a 10-year gap in my resume. They give you credit just for work, like you just did it, so then they give you credit. You did your job, and then they're like, that was done by this person, so we're gonna put this person in the credits. It takes effort. It takes effort to hit up the editor and be like, hey, can you hit backspace on my name? Bro, just do me this solid and just lay that knuckle on the space bar and hit backspace a couple times. If you can't delete it, can you change it? Two-thirds, this is most people. Two-thirds. Who want credit? Craft service? Like who is? In my head, I'm like, wow, is it that bad? That then it gets done, and then they're like, oh, I don't want anybody to know that I was holding the boom for this. Imagine you over here. Crazy. Yeah, because who would have thought? No, like who would have, especially, you know, I mean, you must really not understand your target audience. Trying to tell the story of a woman who's an immigrant. They're speculating on what the movie is going to gross. And I think it's gonna gross. I don't know where do you even go from here? It's like, I thought this was gonna be like her life. Apparently, the movie is like the first 3 weeks of January. Leading up to the inauguration. It's like, when I heard that, I was like, oh, what? I thought there'd at least be some mystery in it, you know what I mean? I thought there'd be some questions answered, like, Joe. Because that is a doc I would watch. It's like, if you actually had a timeline of Melania as a documentary, and you did the whole, I would be like, yeah, no, I need to know. That's the closest thing we're gonna get to some sort of structured through line on the Epstein files. You know what I mean? Like that. Even if it's crowded, it'll be long, you know. No, it just blows my mind. I don't know. We're in a fragmented place now where it feels like maybe a sort of like monocultural moment as far as films go is beyond us. Who knows? Because we haven't really had a breakout event that got lots of people excited in a way that almost meant a sort of frenzy since like Barbie and Oppenheimer came out. That was like the last time that people were like, we're gonna go to the movie all day, we're gonna double up, I'm gonna wear pink and watch a movie about bombs. Or go see Barbie in a top hat or whatever. Yeah, and it's crazy to think, because when you see things like the Netflix top 10, and you see what these, at least is what Netflix says, are the most popular things in the US, most popular things in the world, and you see where these numbers lay out as far as titles, it tells you a lot about what we collectively would like to see, because it's what we seem to be picking across cultures. And there's still things that are like baffling to me about it. Like how did he not hit number one? Like, just, he climbed a skyscraper. What else do you have to do? I know I'm late to the conversation, but I found out about it late. I don't know how I missed it, but everybody's been arguing over if they'd rather be left in the woods with a man or a bear. It's a thing that started on TikTok, but then everybody's been putting their 2 cents in all across the internet on different platforms, and it's been interesting because it really, I think it originally got posed to women. Would you rather be alone in the woods with a random bear or a random man, right? And I think people were astonished at how many women picked bear. Because it was a lot. I've actually seen very few videos that weren't bear. Which is shocking. It's like, I don't know, it took me aback. And a lot of dudes on the internet got very upset. They got so angry that they were like, why would you pick a bear? Why wouldn't you be, what, are you out of your mind? Are you stupid? Why wouldn't you want to be left alone with a random man, you stupid bitch? I don't understand what I'm doing right now. You know? And I'm not gonna lie, I was like, I don't know how in my feelings I was about it, but I was shocked. I was just like, oh, wow, geez. And then you actually hear people talk about it. You actually hear, you know, women say like, well, the worst thing that, you know, a bear is gonna do is either attack you or leave you alone, right? A man could do so many worse things to you, you know? And then there was one woman, and I think her sentiment was like echoed around all of social. It's just like, she basically said, at least if I got attacked by a bear, people would believe me. which I was like, ooh. When I heard, I was like, ooh. Oof. Where do you go from there? What do you do next? What do you say to that sort of thing? Because it is true. It's a terrifying truth. It's a very sad truth. If somebody got attacked by a bear and ran up to you, you wouldn't be like, nah. Nah, you good. Like, just, it made me question as guys, because the women were saying men could do all different types of things, right? Bear could just attack or not attack, right? And it made me wonder, like, as guys, what are we doing that women would rather pick a bear? They'd rather risk their entire life than to be left alone with us and, like, hear about a podcast. It's rough stuff. I don't know if y'all saw this this Chiefs kicker. This is when it pays to be a sports fan, because I don't even need to explain all of it. But basically, in case you didn't see it, there was a kicker for the Chiefs who gave a commencement speech at a school that, I don't know, maybe he went there. Maybe that's why they wanted him. Seems like kicker is, like, pretty low on the list of who I want to bring to my school to sit, because this is like the last speech your kids are going to get at education before you send them out into the world, And he gets up there, and at first it didn't seem to be like that weird of a speech. I saw people were messaging me about it, and I was like, what did he say? As I was watching it at first, I was like, what did he say? He's like, oh, just be a strong man, take care of the people around you, have good values, all stuff like that. And then I kept watching. Because at first I was like, man, what's everybody been out of shape about? And then I kept watching, and then he was like, and to all the ladies here, I'm paraphrasing, to all the ladies here with your little degrees, go ahead and have a baby or your life is meaningless. Like he didn't really say that, but it's how people felt. And it's pretty crazy, because I looked him up afterwards, because I was just like, the weird thing about him is that because he's the kicker, he really feels this way. He has the least CTE on the team. These are his true and present values. But then I looked him up, and apparently his mom is a physicist. Which, I don't know. I mean, I guess to a certain degree he's working something out there. Like, if your mom's a physicist, I can't imagine how many times in your life you've been corrected. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's what it is. Maybe he's like, I just want a woman who won't talk to me and be right. Yeah, I mean, because his mom is a physicist and he's a kicker. Which means every time he misses, his mom can tell him exactly how off he was. I want to tell you a journey that I've had. I have become invested, captivated by 1-star reviews. Because this is my thing. Look, if you got 1 star as a company, you should be closed. But I guess legally not enough has happened where somebody had to come close you. So the public is taking it upon themselves to warn each other, hey, this place, no. Because when you see a 1-star review, this thing, 5-star review is like, wow, I had a great experience. I want to support this business. I actually also want to make sure other people have as good of a time as I had, so I'm going to spread the word with a 5-star review. 4 stars is like, okay, I had a good time, but there are a couple things they can improve. Let me let the business know. 3 is unnecessary. Like 3 is the 3 to me is insane, because 3 is you taking the time to go, meh, and it's like... That feels like psychotic behavior to me. I've never left a 3, all right? I've never left a 3. I go full 5 or 1. I either try to like spread the gospel or warn my friends. 2 is like something happened. 2 is like, look, I would do a 1, but someone there was so sweet that I want to acknowledge how great they were. Because you'll notice a lot of 2-star reviews have something positive in them to a point where I'm like, why isn't this a 4-star review? And then you get to the end and it's like, but there was blood everywhere. And you're like, oh, okay. All right, I got you. So hospitality check, wonderful environment check, but lots of blood in the bathroom. I see why you have a 2 now. I see you were trying to give props, you're trying to be fair. I personally have never read a 1-star review that I didn't wish was longer. One time I was just chilling with Logan and I was reading him 1-star reviews that were making me laugh, and I can't remember what the business was now. I'm blanking on the business, but I think it was like a seafood place. It was like a crab shack. And then there was a 1-star review that just said, this place is a chair. No. Legally, you should have to keep typing. Don't just leave that. I don't know what that means. Like, you can also tell, because some businesses, this is a different, I'm digressing, but this is a different point. But you can tell when a business, especially a restaurant, is nasty, not just when it has low reviews, but when it acts like a dude on a dating app. You know what I mean? Like they'll be taking pictures of the food, but the pictures of the food too close. Like, it's not a picture of the food on the plate, it's just a picture of 3 pieces of rice with some peas in the corner, and you're like, that's too close to the food. That means the plate is dirty. A 1-star review is a testament to an experience, you know? I live in New York, so there are a lot of 1-star reviews of a lot of businesses that will never close. Because they're either fronts or they own the building, so they don't have to worry about rent. But there was my favorite is when a place is permanently closed, but you can still read all the information. Like, they haven't shut down the website and the Google reviews are still there. And there was a funeral home. There was a funeral home that had a 1-star review, and I was like, this is my afternoon. Thank you, Google, for picking up the slack. Like I said, every 1-star review leaves you wanting more. There was a 1-star review that just said, they lost my daddy. We don't know where or how long, or they lost my daddy in all caps. 1-star review as a whole is incredible because it means that everyone's experience has been similar, right? Like you'll see places with like a 3.0 and you'll see it really breaks down to like half ones, half fives, right? It just depends on the day, what kind of service that they get. 1-star review means everyone agrees, right? And the thing about a business having a 1-star review that blows my mind is I used to live in Chicago. And when I lived in Chicago, I didn't know you could just start a Yelp or a Google review for a place you didn't own. So someone had started like a Google review for Cook County Jail. Cook County Jail as a whole had 2 stars. And it's honestly hard to, like, I've read most of them, right? And one of them was 1 star, right? 1 star. And it just said, the guards are so mean. And then under it, because you know, if you're the business, you can comment under it. So then under it, they were like, you were in jail. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm on the formerly incarcerated person's side because they didn't refute it. They were just like, this is what we do here. Oh, it was amazing. It was amazing. There was a 4-star review for Cook County Jail. It's like, I stayed here, wasn't the worst, wasn't the best, but I did it. And that's a very objective person. That's somebody who's like, well, I did my crime, and this is as jails go, it's pretty good. Like yeah, I mean, I don't want to see the business go under. Let me go ahead. It's incredible. I remember when I started looking at salons, because I go to salons and I used to go to barbershops, and you know, trying to make that transition, I was just looking up Google reviews for places, and I got taken on a beautiful journey because all these places, especially like anybody knows who is like trying out a place for the first time, like when you go to get your hair done, you really putting your life in somebody else's hands. And that's all of us, whether you're going to a barbershop, salon, whatever. Because I've got bad haircuts before. I've got haircuts that left me looking like... They just left me looking like I don't know how to take care of myself, and now I gotta wait till my hair grow back a little bit to look even again, you know? I went to the website of this salon, and I saw all the like beautiful designs of the braids that they do, the variety that they do and everything. So then I went to the bottom of the website, and it says, we're currently not taking clients, right? Which happens sometimes. But I went to their Google just to check if maybe they don't update the website, because I was like, let me call, because maybe something's changed, right? When I get to their Google profile, I just go ahead and I'm like, let me look at the reviews just to check, because all this stuff is beautiful in the picture, but these could be Google images. So I'm reading lots of 5 stars, lots of 4 stars. Overall, they have a 4.7 as a business. So I'm like, they're crushing it, right? I do see a 1-star review, and I'm like, well, let me. Because you don't want to count out a 1-star reviews experience, because that means that whatever happened, as long as they're not lying, whatever happened, and it could happen to you, right? So I'm reading it, and it's like, staff was so rude, I booked an appointment, they were trying to act like they didn't know who I was, and they sent me out, right? And I was like, wow, that seems weird. Because the business can comment underneath their comment. The business said, Chandra, you need help. Chandra, you need help. You tried to fool us and showed up as if you had an appointment, even though it says on our website we are not currently taking clients. You said that you talked to someone that we don't employ about an appointment and then sat in the chair demanding. I was like, fair enough, wow. That's amazing. I guess you can't trust everyone, Starview, but wow. I tried to go and they were not taking clients. Like I had a very similar experience to Chandra. I was like, it's like, I don't know, what if I tried? I don't know, maybe I could be slick. And they were like, sir.
I've struggled with an idea for a while, and it's how like everybody, this sounds so dumb, just hold on. Give me a second. But it is crazy that everybody is a person. What I mean by that is when you're like a little kid and you just living your life, you know, you go to school and then you go home and then sometimes you play with your friends and sometimes you stay in and you watch cartoons. You know that you have a life. You know that you're a whole person, even if you don't have a full awareness of yourself. You know that you go to different places and you do different things. Even when you have a new experience, it doesn't even occur to you to be like, oh no, I don't do that. Because you're a kid just experiencing the world. But there are boxes that we put people in. I think it's completely unintentional. I don't think there's any malice behind it. But I remember the first time that I realized that someone who I definitely cared about and I definitely enjoyed their company and I definitely liked was a whole other person. I was a little kid. I was with my mom at the grocery store and we saw my teacher. And I was shocked. I was like, I said it out loud. I said it to her. Why aren't you at school? If you're here, then whose? It was a crazy thing in my head. My brain was breaking in that moment. I'm this little kid. I've only ever seen her at school. She's supposed to be at school. I shouldn't see her if I'm not at school. And she's over here buying groceries. I was like, you eat groceries? This is wild. And then she was over here having a conversation with my mom. They both ignored me asking why she wasn't at school. I still had questions. And then she, said she'd see us on Monday and walked away. And in my head, I was like, Monday? It's Saturday. She's not even gonna be at school tomorrow. Blew my mind that one of my favorite teachers had like a house. And like, I'd always heard about her husband, but I thought that's just something teachers say to like pass the time and stuff. She had a whole life. And it feels like a silly lesson to learn when you're a kid, and then you get older and you realize you have to keep relearning it over and over again because you meet more and more people and you've already boxed them in. And then they surprise you and then you think, oh, I'm a little ashamed I was even surprised. I should know from when I was like 6 that people are like, everybody's a person. But it's an easy lesson to forget because you can only sometimes see a person in a certain way. Like my friend, I have a couple friends now who they've got drunk with their parents, and it's a boundary that some people never break with their parents. Sometimes their parents are like, oh, I'm gonna have a couple drinks, but I'm not gonna be drunk in front of my son. You know what I mean? And then there are people who will always have that thing of like, oh, I don't want to be drunk in front of my parent. You know what I mean? It's like weird. I feel like I'd be in trouble. It's like, well, you're 42. Yeah, but still. I don't know. I don't want my mom to see me drunk. It's like, well, she saw you at your worst as a baby. I guarantee you drunk just brings you like one step above baby. But it was an interesting thing. My friend said that he got had a couple drinks with his dad. Now his dad was a sort of interesting case because when he was a kid, I don't know all the details, but his dad drank. And then there was something, whether it was something that happened or just like a general attitude towards drinking. At one point, his dad was like, you know what? I'm just not going to drink anymore. And he went like cold turkey sober for years and years and years, right? So he drank pretty heavily when my buddy was a kid, didn't drink until he was long out of the house. And it wasn't until after my buddy graduated college that his dad would like drink once in a while, have a drink with him. And finally one day his dad was like drunk with him. And he noticed his dad like drunk. And he was like, it's crazy because I know my dad used to drink. And I can only see my dad as my dad. So knowing my dad is like an annoying drunk. I don't know. I guess I forgot he could be a whole person. Like, because his dad had this weird like rivalry with him when he was drunk. He, walk up to him, impromptu, off of nothing. They're in the backyard. And he's like, hey. Looking good, young man, looking strong, looking tough. I mean, you looking real strong. What? You think you're stronger than me? What? I mean, no. Do you think you're stronger than me? We should race. You want to race? And he knows that a foot race with his dad sober wouldn't even be a contest. So he's like, nah, Dad, I'm good. He's like, no, come on. If you're scared, say so. If you're scared, say so. If you're scared, the old man still got it. If you're scared, say so. Said he made it into one of the most annoying songs he had ever heard in his life. Just until he would raise him, if you scared, say so. And finally, he's like, all right, look, we'll race, fine. And he thinks if he stands up, his dad might just forget, because he's at that level of drunk where he's on a mission, but not a mission he has to complete. Y'all know that mission. This is one of my favorite missions to watch people have on like a night out. Especially with like, one of my favorite side quests in any night out that a bunch of ladies are having is finding one of their phones. One phone will go missing, and it will be the biggest deal in the world for 12 minutes. And then the person whose phone is missing will be like, let's just dance. It's like, all right, but you should go get your phone though. Like, you do need to call an Uber at some point and get home. Like, we need your phone. It's like, yeah, but like later, like, I don't know. It's just like, I don't even care. It's like, this is my song. And then it resets because then like several songs later, it'll be like, yeah, you look so good. I'm gonna take a picture of you. Oh my God, everybody stop. Everybody stop. Not their friends, everybody in the club stop. Everybody stop. And so this dude stands up thinking like his dad's about to be over it anyway. And he's like, Dad, I really don't want to, like, we're having a good time. Like, let's just chill out. And his dad goes, no, race me. He's like, all right, fine, okay. So they line up. He's not really gonna race his dad. He's gonna like walk and let his dad win so he can feel good about being annoying for 15 minutes. But his dad stands up and he's ready. You ever see somebody look at a finish line like it's moving? Like, and then he said, all right, you ready? And they had already decided that his mom would say when to go. And so she said, go. And my buddy didn't even go. His dad took 3 steps and crashed into the patio table. And I don't know, yeah, it's gotta be tough. That's a moment that's like, you just know that now. You know your dad your whole life, and then now you're like, oh yeah, but like after the 5th Jameson, he will. You know. And that changes how you look at your dad a little bit, not even in the form of judgment, just like there's more information, and you see him as like a whole person. You know good, you know bad, you know arguing with him, you know, and now you know this thing that you didn't really experience in the same way when you were a kid. Now you know. Even 4 Jamesons in, he's gonna go, no. Oh. Like I don't know if it's possible to remind yourself every time, every day, that a person is like a whole person. Because we are so distant. Person to person. Like when you meet someone that you've maybe heard about, you can only go off your impression. That impression is colored by whoever told you about this person. And it's hard to remember. I try to remind myself all the time that like, we're meeting this person. Nothing nice has been said. But I'm sure they have a dog. I don't know. Like some redeeming quality. You try to approach it like that. And, you know, I fail at it a lot. You know, sometimes I let, whether it's gossip or just like a preconceived notion, take over. And then you end up being friends with this person. And you feel even worse because you're like, oh, I judged you so harshly when we met. You know, some of my best friends, when I met them, hated their guts. I hated because I was just like, oh, just look at his face. One of my best friends from college, when we met, us meeting was me asking him for a pencil. And him going, what? And so I just turned back around. I was like, all right, jerk. Turns out he just didn't hear me. We're like really good friends now, but yeah, that was not a great way to start. One of my best friends, we had that same thing. So he's a big dude. He's like 6'4", 6'5", like a strong guy, wide guy, right? Big dude. And we were both friends with a different guy. This is freshman year of college. And we had both done things in front of each other that made us go like, I don't know if I like that guy. Like I like our mutual friend, but I don't know if I like him. And then we kept being in scenarios where maybe we were waiting for our mutual friends and we were left alone with each other. And in my head, maybe it's because of where I come from, and maybe it's because I've never been the biggest guy in the room, but this is a big old dude and he doesn't seem like he liked me. So in my head, I was like, I just gotta I just gotta act crazy. Like if I'm crazy, that'll keep at bay his size. Because even a big man doesn't want to get bit. You know what I mean? I don't care how big or strong you are. Once everybody saw what Mike Tyson did to Evander Holyfield, they were like, oh yeah, crazy wins. Crazy will always win. I like my whole ear where it is. And then he noticed me being crazy. And so he was like, all right, I'm gonna have to flex how big I am. There was one time where we were waiting on our mutual friend because, forgot to mention earlier, our mutual friend was his roommate. So I had to be in their room a bunch before we actually got along. And I don't know, I saw him like eyeing me, and this is a college dorm room. So there's not a lot of space. So I'm like, this big guy's eyeing me. We're both waiting for our friend. So then I didn't know what to do. So I just started singing lyrics to Kanye West's 808 on a Heartbreak. No music. Impromptu. And lyrics I chose were, when I grab your neck, I touch your soul. And I just sang it to the wall, but loud enough for him to hear me. And I would later find out that when I did that, he was like, all right, that's one of the craziest things I've ever seen. In my entire life, I was trying to mug this dude into submission, but now he done sang to the wall, not even facing anything. I don't know what he talking about. Why did he sing it too? That's crazy. That's crazy as hell. It's so much crazier to sing than it is to scream. Like if you come across somebody on the street and they scream it, you're like, all right, that's regular. If they are singing lyrics you don't know exist yet, because the album had just come out, if they're singing lyrics you don't know exist yet, get away. And so he was like, I gotta do something. I've got to do something. And the thing that he decided to do was we both got a text from our mutual friend that it would be quicker for us to meet him where he was than wait for him to come back and us head out together. And so we decided to head out together. And while I'm in the hallway, it's a long hallway from the door room to the end of the suite. And when I'm in the hallway, I go, ah. And he says, what? And I'm like, I think a mosquito bit me. And I was being completely sincere in this moment. I started itching. I was like, what? And he's like, what happened? I think a mosquito bit me. And then he stands extra tall, every bit of 6'5", lets his eyes dart around the hallway and goes, you hurt my friend. And then he punched the wall as hard as he could. And when he moved his fist from the wall, there was a dead mosquito. And I was like, oh Lord, he big and crazy. Oh, I'm sick. Oh. And then we became best friends. We became best friends because we got to know each other. We got to know each other, and I got to know him as a whole person. I got to know how cool he was, how sincere he is, that he would that he would do anything for his friends, including that mosquito thing. And he got to know me. And he still liked me. So we became best friends because I got to see like the whole person, you know? And then finally one day I told him about it. I was like, hey, you know, freshman year, because when we were juniors, we became roommates. And I told him, like, hey, I just want to get something off my chest. Freshman year, when I was in the room with you and I just started singing, I was just trying to be crazy because I thought, like, you were real big and, like, I don't know, I had been bullied a lot, so I was just trying to, like, keep you at bay. And he was like, oh, that's so good to know. Which means in the time that we had become friends, he still thought, like, no, that's what he does, though. Like, that's who he is as a person. I was like, that's so good to know. Because, honestly, I was wondering what I'd have to do. I thought you were genuinely crazy. And that's why I punched that wall. When I moved my hand, I couldn't believe the mosquito had actually... It's wild stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's tough sometimes accepting that someone was like a whole person. Because it is easier. If someone sucks, it's easier to just, you know, lean on exactly what you know, and that's enough for you, and they suck, and that's the end of it. It's not necessary in your mind to get down to the deeper root of the issue about why they might be the way they are. Whatever. They suck, and done talking about them. You know? Like when I think about some of the most powerful people in the world, I think that way all the time. I forget that it's like a whole person because they suck. They suck so much. Like, I do my best to not be closed-minded about people. But the more I learn, the worse it gets. And no person is just one thing. Even monsters. Some monsters that get true crime documentaries made about them. They'll interview the kids. And sometimes the kids will be like, yeah, actually, he was like a super present father and everything. Like, it was kind of crazy. I know he killed all those people, but he came to all my soccer games. Like, it's a lot to process. No. Like, I don't know what makes a person. I'm not a psychologist. I don't know what makes a person the way that they are. I just have guesses. Sometimes my guesses are good, and I get to have a conversation with the person and see that I was kind of close. And then sometimes my guesses are totally off base because I don't have their mind. I can't act like I know why someone is the way that they are. I know for certain because of the people that I've been around. I know that sometimes when you grow up with real money, real privilege, it can be very difficult unless you are like delusional enough to accept the position you're in as anything more than like the randomness of who is born to who. It's very difficult to feel like you've made or earned anything yourself. If you are just born into billions, you see that's one of the reasons these people have to like make their mark on the world to prove that they're not just like some accident. Because within those families sometimes, and like, look, I'm not acting like I know billionaires. I know millionaires. And it's a little similar, but at the same time, there are some millionaires that are barely millionaires, so they still acting like they're middle class. Even though they're millionaires, it's actually pretty sad. And then there are people that are like multimillionaires, and I don't even really know that many multimillionaires, but I know those people have at least accepted their position as people with like wealth and privilege, right? I don't know any billionaires. But I do know the people that I am friends with that work with like truly insane net worth individuals have said things like, at a certain amount of money, it's not even money anymore. It's just you moving your will throughout the world. And that is how people with that much money think. And so if you are like a child born into this thing, especially if you don't take to it the way that we imagine people will take to it, because remember, a person is a whole person, but a lot of people will have a kid and have an idea of a child before the child is ever there. And then that idea of a child is exactly what this whole person has to be, or else they're a disappointment, or else they're a failure, right? I had the idea of you before you were ever here. And the idea of you that I had was, we play these sports together. I teach you to do this thing. We go to these things. You love the stuff that I love. Those are the hopes of like every parent. Every parent wants to share the things they love with their kid, and hopefully the kid loves them too. Because as much as you love your sports team, as much as you love your favorite hobby, it'd be so much more enjoyable if the person you love the most loved it too. A lot of people have those hopes. That's common, that's normal. But this like world of wealth, they have an idea of maybe building a legacy, building an empire, and now whoever comes, whatever this child is, they will be someone who can uphold, build up, maintain the empire that I built. They're not having like a child, they're having a vessel to continue their wealth into the future. And that's got to be difficult to grow up in, because yes, you have all this money, you have all this privilege, you have access to all these different things, but there's a person looking at you like you don't even deserve to be here. And then there's everybody else that if you tried to tell them how it felt, they'd be like, oh, I'm sorry I couldn't hear you through all that money. You know? Cry me a river. You ever felt a penny before? And so you see people really trying to exercise out all of this trauma in a way where they still move their will throughout the world. So then we become the collateral damage of them trying to exorcise demons, because they have the access to change the world the way that they see fit. And that leaves us in a very dangerous position. And I don't know exactly how to fix that, what to do about that, but I do know it presents itself in like little moments. Small moments where you can see, oh, this is like a kid. This is like a hurt kid. You know? Most powerful man in the world. Incredibly rich, billionaire. But this is a kid. This is a scared kid. This is a hurt kid. This is an angry kid. And I'm not saying that takes away all the damage, all the things that are being created by what this kid is doing. But like, I see you differently now. Like, in theory, I should be scared of you. I should be worried about what your next move is going to be. I should be worried if you're going to send someone to hurt me or my family, because you could do that. You're a very powerful person. But then things happen. And I see you react like a kid. And it's weird to see you as a whole person, you know? Like, I'm not going to, how do I put this? I could tell Trump was hurt by that South Park episode because the White House released a statement. There are school shootings where the White House doesn't release a statement. The White House released a statement. They were like, hey, look, South Park hadn't been relevant for a while now anyway. Nobody even watched. Ain't nobody crying. Nobody hurt. No. Like, I've watched... I watched Trump go to the Fed. He went to the Fed and he was with Jerome Powell. Now, Donald Trump put Jerome Powell in that position. All right? Donald Trump made Jerome Powell Fed chair, right? And now Donald Trump can't stand Jerome Powell and doesn't know who appointed him. And so he goes to the Fed. I guess they showing him where they make the money, shred the money. I don't know why he needed to go. He goes on a field trip to the Fed. You know, this is a very funny thing about Donald Trump. He has been very rich his entire life, but he still acts like new money. I have expected Trump to see the money being printed in front of him and go, but this dude he's at the Fed with Jerome Powell, and look, you can say numbers. You can say numbers in whatever order you want. No, you can say numbers and he can say more numbers. You can say numbers, that's your right to say numbers however you see fit. Whatever numbers you like, you can say them in 4, 3, 3, 4. You can do whatever you want. Numbers are there for you to play with. Numbers serve at your pleasure, right? Say whatever numbers you want in whatever order you want, whenever you want. That will not make it math. And so Trump is talking to the media, and he just like throwing out numbers. He's saying numbers, right? He's numbers, good numbers, and some bad numbers. Let's get those bad numbers out of there. Good numbers, more numbers, extra numbers, right? And quickly, almost immediately, Jerome Powell is standing off to the side, and he goes, oh no. Jerome Powell was shaking his head. You know those people who got like perfect pitch? Jerome Powell was shaking his head like somebody with perfect pitch going to karaoke. Like it's and look, this is not something that happens often. You know, Trump's used to talking, and when he talks, people either nod or they stay quiet. And we saw this in spectacular fashion in like 2020. Because he would stand up there, and then the people next to him, the people behind him, sometimes you catch them being like, huh? Like they were still trying to process what he said. But then he would just be talking. And sometimes he'd even turn to them, look for some confirmation. What do you think about that? And then they They would be like, we'll have to check. I've never had the taste of bleach in my mouth, but I suppose anything's possible. These experts, these doctors, these people, they weren't doing the thing that they should have been doing, which was because he didn't just shake his head. He said it. He said it out loud. No, 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 no. Maybe we wouldn't be in this position if more people, and I'm not even talking about politicians right now, I mean more people who have to deal with government had the courage to say, no, that's not how medicine works, no, that's not science, no, that's not English, no. A simple no is powerful, you know? And so sure enough, Trump hates Jerome Powell. Trump hates Jerome. Oh, he hates Jerome. Oh. Trump hates Jerome. Trump hates Jerome. Like, let Jerome. Trump hates Jerome Powell, so he hate him so good. Trump hates Jerome Powell so much, he did something he never does. He did something we haven't seen him do. Either time he's been president, he did something I didn't even think he was capable to do. Trump hates Jerome Powell so much. Through his teeth, he hate him. He hate him so much that Donald Trump did homework. Because he was saying the numbers, and he was saying the numbers, and he was saying the numbers, he was saying the numbers. And then Jerome Powell went, no. And even Tim Scott was next to Trump, nodding and saying yes, while he was saying no. Yes, with those big teeth, saying yes, swinging those teeth, yes. But Donald Trump heard Jerome Powell's no, and it was almost like he had practiced this. He was ready. He hates Jerome Powell so much. Ooh, he hates him. Ooh, he hates him. And so he goes, huh? What? No. Oh, well, I have the paper right here. And then Donald Trump pulled out a piece of paper and handed it to Jerome Powell like it was checkmate. I had never seen this man prepared in his life. Usually, when Trump has a chart or a piece of paper, it's because he already has a point he's trying to make, and he's just using that to illustrate. Trump has never had a Trump card. This man pulled out the piece of paper. You could see even Jerome was surprised. He was like, paper? Reading? You saw Jerome. Jerome had to break out the glasses for it. He was like, oh. And because numbers are numbers, because math is at least something that, even if you have bias, even if you have an intention towards an intended goal, the math will still make sense or not make sense. Something will be true or not true, right? And so even Jerome Powell, I'm not saying I know this man, I'm not saying he's infallible, but in this moment I'm thinking maybe he's even thinking, whoa, what if I'm wrong here? What if there's something I don't know about? The president just pulled a piece of paper out as soon as I started saying no, like he rehearsed this. So he takes the piece of paper, throws the glasses on, and you can see him reading it. You can watch the clip. And he goes, No, this old, no.